Welcome to an all-new Lay It Omni. Allow me to lay it on you. Alright guys, I've had enough, okay? The internet has officially went too far. I've been doing this for a while, okay? I'm very used to waking up and seeing people online get canceled. For example, literally just this week alone, there's Joey Swole, who recently got quote-unquote canceled. He's already back, by the way. Apparently, Anthony Fantano is getting canceled. I haven't looked into that. Somebody last night told me that my boy Mudahar is currently getting dragged. Mudahar lied, people cried. Liar, fraud, Indian. You mean to tell me that Mudahar has been Indian this entire time? Whatever, we'll talk about those guys in a future video if I feel like it. But guys, I woke up this morning to see the absolute freaking unthinkable. Apparently people are really out here trying to cancel Markiplier, and he and his subreddit are apparently receiving actual death threats for apparently asking ChatGPT a question. You mean the man who spent the majority of his lifespan on this platform making children and people laugh?
Was that the bite of 87?
You mean the man who brought us Unas Honest? You mean the man whose silky, buttery voice melts even the most angsty teenager's anxiety away? I know what you guys are thinking, okay? Omni, what are you? Gay? For Markiplier? Yes, I am gay for Markiplier. In fact, I'd argue if you're a straight man who isn't gay for Markiplier, I consider that gay. Maybe even super gay.
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the Markiplier accusations, okay? See why he's getting canceled. Because funny enough, I think it also has something to do with the war on AI, which has essentially been this week's topics. And we'll have a very quick brief talk about cancel culture and whether or not it's going too far. And speaking of cancel culture, okay, here is my cancel culture shield. Chase, okay? You can't cancel me, because if you cancel me, you'll cancel Chase, and I don't think you guys want to do that. But you guys know the deal, all right? I showed you my El Gato, okay? So you guys have to like the video. You have to subscribe, okay? Subscribe to the channel. You guys know I can see that you're not subscribed, right? I can see in the comments when you're commenting that you are not subscribed. It's right next to your name, okay? Big Omni is watching. Stop playing games and just freaking do it already. Anyway, you guys know the drill, all right? Sit back, relax, put your feet up, and yeah. Allow me to lay it on you. So as many of you guys probably know, AI usage has been a pretty hot topic buttoned over the past couple of years. So hot, in fact, that if you get caught on these streets asking Siri where the location to the nearest Starbucks is, a random Gen Zer will instantly appear from the bushes and eviscerate you on sight. There's been a war on AI for years now, and people have been trying to push back what feels like is the inevitable rise of it. You even have Gabe Newell, the freaking co-founder of Steam, saying young people need to use AI tools to get, quote, off to the races, end quote, rather than, quote, reading articles on Variety to try to understand what its impact is going to be. Followed by, I think AI is going to be 10 times as significant as the impact of CGI was on filmmaking. Only a couple months back, there was that whole Studio Ghibli thing. Remember when everybody was taking their pictures, putting it into AI, and they would come out and look exactly like Studio Ghibli's Miyazaki's artwork? And now hundreds of thousands of people around the world are being told that after spending all of their money to graduate from college, that their current or future job is now being threatened and or phased out by AI. Even people with long-term careers are now getting fired and replaced with AI. In case you haven't seen it, here's a recent chart that talks about the top 40 occupations that will probably be replaced with AI. Looking down, news analysts, technical writers, mathematicians, data scientists, models, management analysts, web developers. So rightfully so, a lot of people in society are going to be negatively impacted as AI continues to rise, and they're attempting to fight back. There's also another faction who's aggressively pushing the usage of AI. Usually these people are large companies and CEOs who want to increase their profit margins, or tech bros who want to somehow figure out how to make a video game or an app with the press of a button. So that's the context in case you guys weren't aware, okay? You kind of need this context to understand why people were freaking out in the first place. So let's talk about Markiplier. This tweet, along with a whole bunch of others with massive amounts of likes, was essentially trending last night. This one saying, Markiplier, one of my favorite YouTubers since I was 14, is defending AI and uses it. This tweet has 41,000 already been locked down, but there was like several other tweets that I saw as well that I think have since been deleted. And I don't know if this guy knew I was coming, but apparently I'm blocked. I don't even know who this person is, and I've just been blocked on site. But pause, can we talk about these tweets? Is you still a fan when shit hits the fan? Because if you look at this tweet, it be your own people. Nice hit tweet, by the way, oomph. I swear that this tweet perfectly summarizes the internet right now. It's broad and vague enough for people to just believe it with no kind of context, but in this case, it's also even factually incorrect, which we'll get into right now. Apparently, Markiplier was caught red-handed on his own podcast, Distractable, using ChatGPT to ask it a question, which then led to things like this. You can see here on TikTok, TikTok, it says, watching Markiplier defend ChatGPT and constantly use AI in his podcast. Also, you can't talk about it on the subreddit or you'll get banned. Is Markiplier a good guy when he's killing our planet with each AI generation? Or when he was cool with PewDiePie was being an open white supremacist? 2 question marks? As these accusations came out, more and more lies started to build, bro. They were playing a game of telephone where it just kept getting worse, to the point where Markiplier actually decided to make a response.
I had to re-download TikTok for this. I hope you understand how many hours are going to be wasted now that it's on my phone again. But I wanted to do it because I wanted to talk. And I am always happy to talk. I am always happy to talk, which is why I'm going to talk about this on a live stream where I'm going to address each and every one of your concerns. I'm going to talk about it, and by the end of it, you're going to realize that we're on the same side. Or if you're watching this in the future, maybe I got my ass handed to me and I was kicked from here right off of YouTube forever and ever and ever. But I don't think that's going to be a case because I have receipts. I have every Photoshop file for every thumbnail I've ever made. And you will see that I don't use Photoshop correctly, and it'll make people that actually know Photoshop cringe a lot. But I have it, because I have nothing to hide. And also, I've been really itching for a fight. You think I swam through 80,000 gallons of blood just to take a shortcut with AI? I got it in my eye. I almost went blind. Also, I know the environmental impacts. That's why I'm not on Twitter.
This is the face of a man who's fed up and is ready to murder everybody on site. So as you guys can see here, and I got this notification last night, and I was like, what the heck is going on? It says Markiplier versus AI fight night, right? And he streamed literally 9 hours ago. It's already got 500,000 views. There's an hour-and-a-half stream, which, funny enough, started with Markiplier being muted.
And move on to the reason that everyone's here, which is to talk about how I love my absolute, unabashed, unshameful adoration, my everyday complicitness in the rat race that is AI. I confess that I was the first fucking person to be sounding the goddamn alarm that it was bad. I was the first fucking person to say, this is honey all over again. This is fucking honey all over again.
It's funny, right, to see Markiplier just yell it, because this man's usually actually, no, he's never really chill now I think about it, okay? The point that I'm trying to make is that, yes, he has been saying for quite a while how terrible AI is. He's been vocalized with it as well, but he was also talking about Honey, okay? Honey was a situation, this whole thing where he was saying, I think this Honey app, I think is kind of weird. How are they getting the money? It doesn't make any sense. And then like a year later or so, Honey gets exposed for being like a big scam company.
I mean, not that way back. Let's be honest. It's not that way back. But let's be perfectly fucking honest. I was telling them that there was going to be a time when someone could punch in a prompt into a AI and it was going to be able to generate an entire podcast of us. And they laughed. And they laughed. And they laughed at me. And they laughed at me. They all laughed.
Anyway, I think you guys get the point. We can sit here and watch the whole thing, okay? But I'm going to just play one more clip that's been trending on Twitter that kind of summarizes a lot of what he's trying to say here.
That's what I started this at. Is like, we're on the same side. We're absolutely on the same side. And there's a side here that is for the betterment of this in the first place. Because it's important to understand. To fight something, you have to understand what you're fighting, right? You have to. It's something that I don't even fully understand. But if you want to change something, you have to understand it. You have to try to understand.
The argument Markiplier is saying here that if you really want to fight the war on AI, then you have to actually understand why AI is harmful in the first place and not try to just bucket everything that looks like AI as a form of technology into this is evil and it is bad.
I don't use ChatGPT anymore. I forgot to mention that. I don't use it anymore. I can't entirely say that it was out of selflessness, but I don't use it anymore because it was dumb. It was fucking stupid, and it started to piss me off. And then I started to think about it, and I was just like, God, this is such a pain in the ass.
So Markiplier also saying that he doesn't use ChatGPT anymore as well. I'm actually in the same bucket with Markiplier when it comes to ChatGPT. Okay, I used to use it back in the day to kind of like do research until I started to realize that ChatGPT just straight up lies to you, okay? It lies to your face. I use ChatGPT as a question sometimes and be like, hey, explain this to me, or explain that to me, or tell me about this, or tell me about that. And I'd listen to it on the car ride home. And then I recognized that some of the things that it said was just straight up fabricated, okay? ChatGPT has this thing where if it doesn't know the answer, it makes things up. Quite literally. I forget what the word is. It's like phantom something, or I don't know. But if it can't fill in the blanks with actual factual information, they will literally gaslight you and lie to you. And ever since then, that was like a couple of months ago, I started being like, yo, this thing is just whack. I don't know if they fixed it or not, but I'm not listening to some kind of software that's just going to straight up lie to my face. So Markiplier has cleared the AI allegations, okay? He didn't use AI to create his thumbnails. That was a lie that got made up and spread by a whole bunch of people who are still going to believe it, by the way. A lot of people are not going to actually find out that Markiplier isn't anti-AI. They're just going to pick up the original tweet and post in TikToks and just go forward with it with the misinformation. So what exactly happens now? Are we going to learn from this? Absolutely freaking not. We're essentially just going to wait for it to happen to someone else. And here's my rant, okay? I have a huge rant that I want to talk to you guys about this, because this has been something that's been eating at me for quite some time. The woke mob, cancel culture, whatever you want to call it, okay? There are a group of people out here who just want blood. They are not your ally. They are not actually here to help you. They're not here to support your side. There is a large group of people on the internet that exists solely to destroy, even if the person that they are destroying is somebody that they support. Because there's something in these people's souls that make them feel good to tear a person down. They will pretend to care, but these people actually don't even know what's actually happening, and they're just trying to use their voice as a weapon to harm people. I'm sure it's not a surprise to you guys that people as a whole can suck, but honestly, seeing the absolute gravity, like the waves of how fast a force who has no skin in the game can just rush in and attempt to dismantle a person with the "I knew this guy was weird" tweet, just so they can come off as some prophet who can foresee the evil and otherwise good people, is absolutely crazy. It's absolutely wild. It's the reason why people are saying that it's becoming pointless to apologize on the internet. The internet is taking away people's ability to take accountability because it was never about accountability for them. It's always been about just drawing blood and watching someone bleed. And I don't know the answer to it. In fact, I don't think there is an answer to it. I honestly think that this is just how humans and people work. I know some of you guys at home are probably thinking, Omni, that's not how I think. Okay, I'm not out here with the pitchfork trying to just watch people bleed. I just want to see people change and all that stuff. That's great. That's good. That's deja vu. I'm glad that you think like that. But for every person like you, I imagine that there are like 10 other people who do not give a fuck. They are on the sidelines just wanting to see absolute destruction and the downfall of a person. It may seem pessimistic, but I've been on the internet for a while, and I have this conclusion, this theory, that a lot of people that are on Twitter or TikTok or on social media are unhappy. Majority of them are unhappy people, so they're looking for a way to feel better, and one of those ways to feel better is to cancel a person. And unfortunately, that's just the reality, okay, of people, the internet, of mankind, and to be honest, I think it's only just going to keep getting worse over time. Anyway, that's all I have for this episode of Lay It Omni. You've just been laid. Moral of the story: stop messing with Markiplier, okay? Just stop. You keep trying, okay? But it's going to be the same result every single time. I'm a little peeved off, right? Because this is one of those things on the internet that I hate, right? Because there's causes that I support. There's things that I stand for. But I feel like there are people who are on my side are purposely taking out pitchforks and just trying to kill the other people. They're not trying to talk. They're not trying to have a conversation. There is no nuance. They're not actually trying to have a meeting of the minds. Their goal is to put themselves on one side or the other and just literally throw stones for the sake of throwing stones, not recognizing that it's literally hurting the cause of the people that you're with. People don't want to fix things. They just want to cause freaking damage to the point that it essentially boxes and pushes more people against you and puts them in the other bucket just so they don't have to freaking deal with you. All right, let me calm down. You guys can see this is a pretty big pain point for me as somebody that kind of wants to kind of interact with everybody and keep my eyes open and keep my ears open and keep my lenses open and understand more and more and practice that nuance. This is one of those things that really, really grinds my gears. Anyway, you can make me feel better right now. And if you guys made it to the end of the video, drop a like. That like lets me know that you made it to the end of the video and that I did a good job. Go check out the rest of the videos I've been talking about this week, okay? We've been talking about AI, censorship, and we got more to talk about as well, okay? These videos are absolutely crazy, all this news that we're going into, okay? So stay in the know and subscribe because I'm asking nicely. I'm asking nicely. What about that, okay? Politely. Please. If I say please, will you guys subscribe? I love you guys. Y'all brush your teeth and floss. Don't get halitosis. Stay safe on these internet streets because these internet streets are not safe. Take it easy. Peace.